Hello and welcome to IDEA TV News Update. I'm Paul Olatupo and we begin with the headlines. Federal government and also the European Union launched Nigerian data exchange to boost data economy. Sign out ban sweeps Nigerian schools as also steers national debate. Meanwhile, WIKE says Rivers local government polls pave way for rollout of emergency rule. And away from Africa, we see that U.S. judge blocked Trump's expansion of rapid deportation. And in business, African Airlines sees 9.4% surge in cargo demand, says IATA. And in sport, Fernandes calls stoppage time penalty as Man U edge Burnley 3-2. And now to the news in full. The federal government and the European Union have unveiled the Nigerian Data Exchange Program, a major step in strengthening the country's data public infrastructure. The initiative, supported by Estonia, Finland, Germany, and also France, will allow governments and businesses to share data and use data securely while protecting citizens' privacy under the Nigerian Data Protection Act 2023. Communications Minister Bosun Tijani said the platform, alongside the National Identity and Payment System, will drive Nigeria's digital transformation and improve services delivery. He promised a functional data exchange by the end of 2025. The EU has pledged 18 million euros to support the rollout, with officials stretching that digital infrastructure must be inclusive, human-centric, and also secure. Still in Nigeria, the tradition of signing out after exams, once a joyful rite of passage, is now a wave of ban across Nigeria. From Sokoto down to Edo, down to Imo, and also Ondo and also Anambra states, as several university authorities have prohibited signing out and also graduation celebrations, citing misconduct as indecency and also vandalism. In Sokoto, the ban applies to secondary schools in Imo and Ogun. Even kindergarten and nursery graduation have been stopped. At Nnamdi Azikiwe University, 2 female students were removed for defiling this directive. The National Orientation Agency has condemned indecent practices linked to the culture, vowing to launch a national value charter to restore discipline. But the crackdown has ignited a sharp debate, while some parents and also educators back the move as necessary. Critics have said that it robs students from the joy and also distracts the deeper issues in educational system, like poor facilities and unemployment. As more states join the trend, the ritual of signing on shirts and parading the streets now faces an uncertain future. Now moving on to Rivers State, where we see that the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says the conduct of the Rivers State local government election has set a stage for lifting the emergency rule declared in the state earlier this year. Speaking after casting his votes on Saturday, Wike noted that with elected representatives now in place both in state and also the local level, the course is clear for normal governance to resume. He expressed confidence that by September 18th, when the emergency rule expired, Governor Fubara, his deputy, and also state lawmakers will return to office. Wike also hailed the election as peaceful, dismissing concern about low voters' turnout. The polls comes out 6 months after the Supreme Court annulled a previous exercise and months after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu suspended the state government, appointing a sole administrator to manage the affair. We're going to a quick break now, and once we come back, the news continues. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still the news update here on Idea TV. Now to the rest of the news. Moving away from Africa, a U.S. federal judge, has altered President Donald Trump's plan to expand and also fast-track deportation process nationwide. The policy, known as expedition removal, was previously limited to immigrant courts near the Mexican borders within 2 weeks of entry, but earlier this year, President Trump administration widening it to cover migrants everywhere in the U.S. who have now been in the country for up to 2 years. Judge Jacob ruled that the expansion could lead to wrongful deportation without due process, stressing that even undocumented migrants have constitutional rights. The decision is a setback for Trump's pledge to carry out mass deportation, which has already faced multiple court challenges. And in business, Africa's airlines record a 9.4% rise in cargo demand in July, nearly double of the global average of 5.5% according to International Air Transport Association IATA. Despite the surge, capacity slipped slightly by 0.1%, putting pressure on Africa's carriers to meet growing volume. IATA chief Willie Walsh said the performance underscores Africa's expanding role in global trade, driven by strong regional links and better connectivity. Globally, cargo demand rose 5.5%, with Asia-Pacific carriers leading growth at 11%. North America Airlines posts the weakest at 0.7%. IATA noted that the lower jet fuel prices helped airlines cut costs, but global manufacturing contradiction and also the U.S. trade policy shifts could weigh on future demands. And finally, now on sports, we see that Manchester United left its late to beat Burnley 3-2 at Old Trafford, thanks to a 96th minute penalty from the captain, Bruno Fernandes. United has taken the lead twice, first through a Josh Collin own goal and a debut strike from Brian Membo. But Burnley hit back with goals from Leah Foster and also Anthony, with pressure mounting on the manager Ruben Amorim. After the midweek cup exit, Fernandes held his nerves from the spot after a VAR review confirmed a foul on Amad Diallo. The win relieves some tension at Old Trafford through United's defense although United defense remains a concern. And that's all we have for you today on the Idea TV news updates. But before we go, let's take a recap at our headlines once again. Federal government and also the European Union launched Nigerian data exchange to boost the economy. Sign-out bans sweep Nigerian schools, stir national debate. Meanwhile, in Rivers, we see that WIKE says River local governments pave way for end of emergency rule. Now, moving away from Africa, we see that U.S. judge blocks Trump's expansion of rapid deportation. And then in business, we see that Africa Airlines sees 9.4% surge in cargo demand, says IATA. And finally, on sport, we told you that Fernandes caused stoppage-time goal, a penalty, as Manchester United edged Burnley 3-2. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Paul Oladpupo. Thanks for watching.